imagine going to the cinema, to watch a nice kids film, and then it's horror. That's what we're doing today. We're transforming two movie posters that were supposed to be for children, PG, Universal, into horror movie posters. So we're starting off with the new Wonka film with Timothée Chalamet. So we're going to start here with a gloved hand. This is going to be our Willy Wonka in this situation. Just going to adjust it to where we need it as so. Now my inspiration for this poster is going to be the Saw franchise, as you can see just here. So I'm just going to double check the colour of Willy Wonka's coats. Here we go. And as you can see on the wrists, it is a purple sort of colour. So what we're just going to do there is we just need to paint in the jacket itself. So I'm going to get a purple brush here, quite a deep dark purple. And then we're just going to increase the brush size. And what I'm just going to do is paint over the wrist, just the area where I want the jacket to be. So we'll paint over there and just go in and clean up the edges, just like so. And there we are. So we'll clean up the edges. And then what I just need to do is go in with a smaller brush here just to paint where the jacket goes behind the hand itself. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't at all. So we'll just go in there and I'll do the same on the other side. And then we'll just need to paint just a small little thin shadow just around the top here, just to show that it is indeed touching on the skin. So once we've got that done, as you can see here, I just need to add a texture in real quick. So I've got this fabric texture here that I just found online. Not the best one, but hey ho, it will do for this. We're just going to warp it to fit the shape of the sleeve, like so. So once that is all warped, we can then move it into place where we need to put it. And now that's all warped, add a bit of texture. I'm going to do one final touch here and add a nice golden button, just so you know, look, this is Willy Wonka. So we'll size the button to where it needs to be, and we will use the magic wand tool in this instant. Just change the tolerance a bit. I don't know why my tolerance was on 0. We're going to use the magic wand tool here just to cut out the background. As you can see, it has cut out the light on the buttons, but that is no issue. What we're just going to do is come in here with a soft brush, and we're just going to paint in a little shadow just around the edge. And then what we'll also do once that's done is come in with a white brush and just repaint those light areas that we accidentally cut out when we were cutting out the button. So we'll go in with a white brush here and just paint it in. As you can see, paint in those lights, and Bob is your uncle. Look at that. That is Willy Wonka if I've ever seen Willy Wonka. So next up, what I'm thinking is, you can't really tell, so we need to get a golden ticket in here right now. So we'll look at a few Wonka bars. Let's Google golden ticket. None of these are really going to stick out for me. They don't really scream Willy Wonka. So if I go over to here, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, perfect. Look at this. Says Wonka, it's the golden ticket. It's got all the details on there. If you saw this in just like on the floor or whatever, you would know this is from Willy Wonka. So we're just going to drag this one here into Photoshop here, and we're going to position it to where I want it. I want him sort of holding it like a cigarette in a way, just in between his fingers. So we will arrange that to where we need. And then we'll just come through here with the eraser tool, and we will just erase the parts that we don't need. So I'll follow here just along the golden ticket where we need to cut it out. Make sure we don't cut out the finger that is supposed to be in front. Follow that round roughly. Get rid of that. And pretty much right away, look, you can tell. But just to give it a bit of oomph so you can really see that he is holding it, we're going to paint a light shadow just behind his finger here. So we'll go all the way from the top just so you can really see that he is in fact holding it between his fingers. Paint a light shadow all the way across. And then we'll just do the same over here as well. Oh. There we are, and then we'll just erase the bits that have gone over, no issue. Going to make the golden ticket look a bit more rugged, so I'll speed this bit up here for you. So we're just going to create some holes, some ridges, so it doesn't look as clean. Lucky for us, the golden ticket photo that we used in general does have a bit of dirt splatter on it, which is very nice. So we'll just go in here, cut a few bits and bobs out. And there we have it. That is that. So we are just now going to add some blood splatter here. We'll add a little bit here to his jackets. And we'll just mask that down so then we don't get any overspill on the side. And then just lower the opacity slightly so it isn't as jarring. And then what we're just going to do is copy that as well. And then we'll add that over to the golden ticket just so you can really see the blood. Move that right there. Right, so I've skipped a little bit here, but as you can see, we have gone with a black background. But in Saw here, you can see they sort of have white backgrounds instead. So I will change that later on, as you're about to see. I think the black background, you just lose a lot of it. So especially with the black glove. So we'll change now to like a white sort of gradient, sort of like the Saw posters. And then we'll change the text here to a more of a darker sort of blackish grey, just so you can see the text. Struggling where to put this text here. I think we're just going to shove it down the side in the corner. I mean, it already says Wonka on the golden ticket, so realistically, did we need a title? But for this, we're going to go with a subtitle here. Something like that. Wonka sleep type. Now, would you take your kids to go see this film? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't even have kids, but I wouldn't. So we'll just move that in there. Make sure it's nice and even. There we are. Right. Final touches, we're going to add a camera raw filter here just to really sort of get the darkness, the grittiness, you know, like they have in the Saw franchise. So we're just going to move the sliders up and down until we're feeling a little bit nice. We need a nice little cold temperature in here. So we'll lower the temperature, give it that bluish sort of horror tint that you see on quite a lot of horror posters. Dark, gritty, let's get some shadows in there, etc, etc. Turn that exposure, sort that bit out. And to be fair, I think there we have it. We'll just do some final touches here. Just, you know, change the saturation a bit because it can't be too in your face, do you know what I mean? Change the saturation so it looks nice and gritty. And yeah, I think that is it, guys. This is our new Wonka horror poster. Right, imagine you're sitting in the cinema to watch the new Minions movie and it starts off with this guy being dead. Mental. So my idea for this, we're going to get the picture of an eye and we're going to have the reflection of a minion in the eye, obviously scaring the absolute shit out of someone. So we'll just go here with this photo of the eye and then we just need to get a stamp tool, a little clone stamp tool here, just to fill in the areas that haven't covered. So we'll just go over with a soft brush so that it merges in with everything else. And there we have it. So next up here is to get a picture of a scary minion. Because the minions, they've gone rogue. They haven't got Gru anymore to help them. They've gone rogue. So I need a picture of a scary what the fuck. Some of these, while I was scrolling through looking at these, genuinely gave me nightmares. I mean, look at these. Look at this one. Look at that one. What is that? Can you imagine seeing that? So a bit of searching, we'll find some. But these are just absolutely horrifying. I wouldn't want any of these. I like this one though. I think this is the one we're going to go for. So So we'll just drag that one in here. We only need it in the pupil. What I did realize is that the pupil is way too small. You're gonna lose the minion. So what we'll do, we'll roughly just cut him out, and then we will put a border here around the pupil, just so then we can enlarge it here. Just give us more space to work with. And then what we're gonna do is lower the opacity of our minion. There we go, just so you can only just see them. So like there's still a mystery of what they look like. And then we're just going to go in here with an eraser tool and just sort of erase the parts we don't need. As you can see, it's a really shocking job of cutting it out, but you're not going to see it anyway, and you'll see why in a minute. So we'll just go through here, getting rid of the parts that we don't actually need, you know, all the arms, etc. Try and get rid of some of the grittiness. You just sort of want his face to pop out, and that's what we're doing here. So we'll just get rid of the light in the eye, just so it's sort of pitch black. So the only thing you can focus on is the minion when you see it. So there we have it, the faint reflection of the minion in the eye. So we'll merge this all down just so it's on one layer here. And then what I want to do to give it that horror vibe is just make it black and white, get rid of some of the reds, increase up some of the yellow so that minion really does pop out from the eye. Then stylize, and we're going to do an oil paint. We're going to make this look like it's been painted like an old-timey movie. I can't think of the movie that I was trying to reference here, but do feel free to leave a comment if you know what movie poster I've been referencing here. So a bit of oil paint, we'll change all the details, etc., just to make it look really nice. And there we are. As you can see, the minion looks horrifying still, so it's no issue there. You can tell it's an eye. You can tell it's a really scary minion. So then we're just going to do a ripple effect as well. Scrap that. We're not going to do a ripple. Can you tell this is a voiceover after I've done it? I'm trying to remember what I did. I filmed this like, what, 5 days ago, and I'm only now doing the voiceover. Just going to go through a couple of settings here just so we can really get the grittiness. And here we are. Here is the final sort of result. And I think what we need to do is add a title. I think I'm now about to add a title. As I said, I filmed this like 5 days ago. Why am I doing a voiceover now? I couldn't tell you. Right, yeah, cool. Title. We are doing a title. So I need to find a really like cool, scary sort of font. So we'll just type out here, Minions. And I think just on its own, it's just a little bit too much. So what we're just going to do is split that into two lines here. Make sure that they're stacked on each other. And then increase that as well. And I think a really cool idea for the title is to have it bend around the curve of the eye. So I'll put that where I need to put that. And what we'll do in just a moment is go in with the warp tool, and then we will bend it around the curve of the eye. Oh, apparently we're adding a drop shadow first. God, I need to watch these videos over before I do a voiceover. Add a drop shadow, move this closer, just like so. Now we're going to go in with the warp filter tool thing, and we're just going to shape it around the eye because it looks cool. All right, gives it a bit of pop, a bit of pizzazz. Have the points really shape around the eye. And there we are. I think that looks pretty cool. I think we need to add a subtitle to this as well, but God knows when I start doing that. I haven't even watched this video back over. It's a voiceover all in one. No breaks, no stopping. Here we go. We're doing a drop shadow now. Noise, add noise, you know, increase that amount a bit. Change it to monochromatic so we don't get any colour in there. We don't want any colour. There we go. I'm just staying quiet now because I've got no idea what I'm doing next. No, don't move the title. Don't move the title. Put the title back down. Thank you very much. Right, now we're going to add the subtitle. Subtitle is going to be when Gru dies, because this is what happens. The minions go rogue. They start eating people. They start killing people. I don't know. Hopefully we can get a cool movie about this. So we'll just put it under because we don't really want that to be the main focus. We want the minion in the eye and the title minions itself. So it's more of a little subtitle. So we'll just plonk that in the bottom here, and then we'll go over. We will add another drop shadow to this, and we will also add the last filter, being the grain. Add the drop shadow to it, and done. There we are. There is our Minions movie poster. So, if you did like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, turn the notifications on for when I do be bothered to post. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you want me to do next. See you later.